Happy circus. And look who we have. We have a clown named Beth Sommerfeldt. Thank you, Beth. Thank you. I'm so glad this was a great idea. Look at you. And did you make the outfit?
I did. I made the outfit, but this collar is an original from the clowns at the circus.
Wow.
It's on loan to me. I have to return it. But it's really interesting how they make them. I ironed it. And there's nothing fancy about it.
Well, it looks fancy.
Yeah.
And Evie Grassi did the makeup.
Yep.
Thank you, Evie. Thank you. I'm so glad everybody is here for the circus. I want to thank my volunteers, Janet Ray, Faith Gruber, Sherry Sixel, so far I've everybody's name straight, Evie Grassi, Beth Sommerfeldt, Peg Sue Watson, and Terry Snow. But of course, her name is Peg. But of course, I'm of the era of Peggy Sue, Peggy Sue. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Ann Kraft, for the tables. Thank you, Jar. We could not do it without all of these volunteers. That's the only way it happens. Next month, on May 23, that'll be a Friday, will be my last cooking show, and I'm going to do fabulous family favorites or something like that. So it'll be family recipes that go together very quickly. But I still need all my volunteers. Today we're going to do mini hot dogs, because of course hot dogs are from a circus, right?
Yes. Yes.
Corn dogs too, but we're doing hot dogs. Mm-hmm. And we're doing walking tacos, which we have little bags of Fritos with Fritos in it. We'll add a little ground beef, a little lettuce, a little tomato, the hot dogs, homemade caramel corn, and then you have Cracker Jacks, so you can compare and Mr. Mayor. Well, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for coming.
I was going to say you needed a clown, but you already have one.
More than one of those.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming.
We got a lot of people.
It's pretty easy to put together circus food. I'm going to show you, the only recipe I gave you was the baked caramel corn. So I'm going to put together the syrup. I have melted the cup of butter, and of course I don't have any brown sugar, so I'm going to put in 2 cups of white sugar. Because what do we do if we don't have what we need?
Improvise.
Exactly. And this is, that's a half cup. Could you put in 2 cups of sugar?
Sure can.
And of course, there's popcorn like this. And these that go in the microwave. Do you remember the popcorn that was in the little
Jiffy Pop.
Yes.
Yep.
That's, oh, do they? Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Right.
So
my grandfather, a farmer from the heart of Minnesota, loved popcorn. He raised popcorn, put it in the attic, let it dry, and then rub it together to shell it. And he was the one who made the popcorn on the wooden stove. No, not the wooden stove. The stove that burned wood. Probably not. But he was always the one who made the popcorn. He lived to be 102. And his main, I've told you this before, overripe bananas, bacon, and popcorn. His favorite foods of all. He was a nice, calm, easygoing grandfather.
You want this stirred?
Yes, please. Oh, yes. And we're going to put in half cup of corn syrup. Thank you. Keep stirring. So you'll be able to tell the difference between your Cracker Jack and the caramel corn that I made. And a little bit of salt.
That's baking powder.
Salt, got the salt, okay. Yeah, just, it could go in there. And then we cook it, boil it without stirring for 5 minutes, but it'll take a long time for this to come to boil. So we'll pretend it's been boiling for 5 minutes. It definitely has not, but we'll pretend. We put in a ½ teaspoon of baking soda, and what will the baking soda do? Yes, exactly. And that's close enough. And some vanilla. And this isn't even the Watkins, this is Soli's. I have an old Watkins bottle at home, so I get the pretend vanilla from Piggly Wiggly and put it in the Watkins bottle. So that's cooking and cooking and cooking, and then we'll pour it over the popcorn. Well, we're not going to, but pretend we're going to. This recipe, I did do that popcorn, and it did cook or bake in the oven not overnight, 2 hours. Overnight we have charred caramel corn. When you were in the circus, tell me everything that you did.
Well, because I was so little, I was behind the scenes. I was the one that was eating the cotton candy.
Okay.
I helped make the popcorn, but my aunt and uncle were the performers. So my aunt was a trapeze artist, and my uncle trained the elephants and tigers and lions and took care of them.
Did he use a whip?
Yeah, and a chair.
Oh my, just like the movies.
And I have a picture of him up there in a cage with the lion.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Was it difficult for him to train the lions?
They said that he had a way with animals that was unreal. They just kind of fell to him. So I don't think he had any problems with them. But the elephants were his favorite, which are my favorite, and my aunt's favorite. And Sonia Barda, that's part of the family. So
Sheboygan circus family.
Yeah, there were quite a few families that had circuses. So, elephants are our thing.
Wow.
And Sonia used to ride an elephant. Her name was Margaret. And she would stand outside of the tent, and she could hear the music, and Margaret loved to dance. So Margaret would sway back and forth and bring her trunk around Sonia, and they would just go and go. And then the music would come on where they had to go in, and she would swoop up Sonia, put her on her back, and they would prance in.
Oh my
now,
gosh.
Margaret liked to polka. So
does the mayor. Okay.
So she would polka, but she would polka in a circle. And she would keep going, and finally Sonia would have to say, "Margaret, you gotta stop, I'm getting dizzy." So she would put Margaret down, or put Sonia down, and she's like, "Whoa." But Margaret was her favorite. And that was her elephant. That once you have an elephant, that's your elephant. And how an elephant recognizes you is you actually blow into their trunks. And they get your scent, the DNA, they say, and that's how they know you. And after that, they know you. My favorite elephant is Tracy. She was at the Baraboo Museum in Baraboo, and I got to spend time with her just a few years ago before she went to the sanctuary. And I can't wait to go to the sanctuary and see her again.
Will she remember you?
She will.
Okay.
She will. Yeah.
Elephants never forget.
Yeah. So yeah, for my family, we all knew how to tumble. We knew how to do everything you can think of.
I did a somersault once in my life. Okay.
I just not that long ago, about 10 years ago, we had planted some grass, and my husband put a rope over so you didn't go past that. Well, I was just, and I hit it. And all I could remember is my mom yelling, "Tuck and roll," and I tucked, rolled, and came back up and kept going. Yeah. So
Good for you.
But we grew up like that. I mean, we were standing on our heads more than we were on our feet. We were doing cartwheels through the living room. So that was just how we were raised.
Everybody has a story, and just think, Sheboygan, Wisconsin, and Beth Sommerfeldt.
For me, that was normal.
Yes, sure.
Yeah, but for our birthdays, the trailer would pull up, and we would have cotton candy and popcorn, slushies, where everybody else was having cake and ice cream, all the boring stuff.
That is wonderful, Beth. That is wonderful. And I bet lots of you have things in your life that I know nothing about that are super interesting. Well, Beth, I've forgotten if I was going to ask you anything else. Is there anything else you want to tell us?
Yes.
Okay.
Down in Oklahoma is where all the elephants are. They're in a sanctuary, and it's called the Endangered Ark Foundation. And that's where all the circus elephants are now. And they're all Asian, if you've noticed.
Small ears.
Small ears, because the African elephant has a weird personality. Okay. They don't like to listen.
Okay.
They do what they want, where the Asian, they like to perform.
Are the Asians slightly smaller than?
Yes,
Okay.
they are.
Okay.
Not just the ears, but the elephant itself. And they have actually a camp now where you can rent a cabin, and the elephants bring you your meals.
Oh, yes.
And of course they bring food for themselves too, because you're not going to get all of it. So you get to eat with the elephants, and that is
Where in Oklahoma?
Hugo.
Hugo. Okay. Whereabouts in Oklahoma is Hugo?
Well, Texas is here. Arkansas is like there. They're right in the corner.
In the corner of
Yeah.
Oklahoma. Okay. I had a roommate in New York and in Dallas from Oklahoma, from Loco, Oklahoma.
Oh, wow.
And her name was Lawana Looking Bill from Loco, Oklahoma. She was a wonderfully nice woman, yes. And she married, Lawana Looking Bill from Loco, Oklahoma, married a young man from Sheboygan, Wisconsin, who ended up being a dentist in New Mexico. We are all stuck together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So have any of you gone to the Baraboo Circus Parade?
Not the parade, no.
Oh, it's fantastic. This year is not going to be so fantastic. There's no elephants. They had to get rid of them. But it's beautiful. They have all the wagons, all decked out. They have the marching bands. They've got the veterans. It's fantastic. It's a whole day event. In the morning it starts with that, and then they have things going on throughout. You can go to the museum. It just continues. And the whole city gets involved.
That's nice. That's nice.
It is. It's very
well,
nice.
Sheboygan and Bratwurst days.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yes.
Yeah, but they don't celebrate 4th of July because of the Baraboo Circus Parade, but the outskirts do. So It's okay.
Say that again?
They don't do the fireworks in Baraboo.
Oh, okay.
They don't do the 4th of July parade or anything like that because of the circus parade.
Oh, yes, okay.
But the outskirts, it does, yeah. And it's fun because their marching band for the high school are dressed like clowns.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Let's go to Baraboo. Find out.
Yeah, it is. It's very nice.
Very nice. You notice our aprons today, well, purple, but then a couple of them have stars and stripes, which has nothing to do with the 4th of July or with Christmas. It's for the fireworks from a circus. That's what we're saying today. Any questions for Beth? Any questions for me?
June 12th.
My birthday.
That's my brother's birthday, too.
Yes, we're all connected. Go ahead.
How did she go home?
Yeah, she went down to Oklahoma along with Viola. Yeah. And you cannot take the, as they call, wild animals through Illinois. So when they took them, they had to go over to Minnesota and down because it's against the law. And now we don't even know if the circus is going to be able to have horses.
Oh, come on, that's
Because they feel that those are, they're abused. Really, they're not. These animals live better than I do.
Who is this that's...
Well, it's an organization that doesn't like animals in captivity.
Oh, okay.
not all circuses were humane, and you know that.
No, but neither are people.
That's why not all circuses are humane, because not all people are.
Yeah. They,
But it always takes a few bad ones to ruin it for
yeah,
everybody.
it does. Yeah, but all their trainers went down there, so the trainers are down in the sanctuary also with the elephants. And I think it was, just a couple weeks ago, they had to put Susie down. That was one of the oldest. In captivity, they can live to be 65 years old, where when they're in the wild, they live maybe to 30, maybe. And that's if they're not killed, because people want their tusks and all that. So
And tigers like to eat.
yeah, they do too. Yeah. So and elephants, when they sweat, you want to say, they sweat through their toes. They flap their ears, and then they sweat through their toes.
Wow.
And the trainers, they have to daily go and do their feet because you can't have any infection in there because it'll stop them from sweating. They'll get very sick and then they'll pass away. Most of the elephants in the sanctuary, they die from old age.
Okay, but in the wild...
But in the wild, if they have an infection, that will kill them.
Well, if I lived in the wild, it would kill me too.
I know, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I'd be able to survive.
Oh, no, of course not. Of course not. Any more questions for our clown? Thank you, Beth. Thank you so much.
Karen.
It's not a question, it's a comment. I was fortunate enough to get a tour up there by Beth, and she showed us all the Marylin and their mansions, and then she took us through all the cemeteries where they're all buried, and it was just a fascinating history. So besides the parade and besides the Dells, just go over there. It's the coolest community. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
So Wisconsin has Baraboo and circus. Does any other state have as much circus as Wisconsin?
I don't know if they do or not, but we are all real tight here. Ringling Brothers was the same as Sell Sterling, and then there's Lindemann.
Lindemann was Sheboygan.
Yep. There was Fleck here. There was Meyer here. There was Miller here. So we have a lot of circus here.
Most of them wintered in Florida.
Okay.
And where the elephants are sanctuaried, their sanctuary is where one of the circuses had land, and so they actually gave the land to make the sanctuary. Yeah.
Any further questions for our clown? Yes, go ahead.
Are there still traveling circuses in the U.S.?
No.
Do you know how long, like 20, 30 years?
Yeah, at least 30, yeah. It was, yeah, it was too hard.
Way there was half the show. Though.
Well, that was just recently that the animals had to disappear. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go to that sanctuary?
Yes.
See the elephants?
Yes, it's really cool. I haven't been there yet, but I've seen lots of pictures. They have cabins that you can rent, and then the elephants can come right up to you. And yeah, that's on my bucket list for next year.
Are you going there, Mayor?
Yeah, probably.
You should.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you. Any further questions? Okay. Next.
Your popcorn.
Yeah.
Your popcorn down there.
Yep. Right.
Down here.
Okay. They know better what I'm doing than I know myself. Okay. This was popcorn that Jane ordered from Amazon. Okay, and we're going to make it into pink. Now, usually the pink was simply white popcorn with tomato soup powder, which you can no longer find. So I found this thing called tomato garlic basil marinade. Let's see what this does. Yep.
Here you go.
Thank you, if it does anything. Well, it's kind of red. I bet I need 3 packages instead of 1. Oh yeah, I needed 3 packages.
It's got some seasoning on it.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Smells good.
Yeah, look at that. Oh, yeah.
Well, remember, my grandfather was 102. Bacon, popcorn, and lots of cream in the coffee. Cotton candy.
You did good.
Going to the fair at the fairgrounds in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin, watching them make cotton candy was just magic. Oh my gosh. And it tasted so good, just like sweet air. Yep. Okay, we'll start with our walking tacos. We'll put a little ground beef into it, a little bit of lettuce, a little bit of tomato, and then we have, and we'll put that into so that's what all these wonderful I know are going to get to. Okay, let's eat.